is a gift.
Welcome, everyone, to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. My name is Coach Lacy, and today I have a special guest giving her testimony from darkness to light. Everybody, give a warm welcome to Jennifer Ritt. Welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is like one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What you do, and then we'll get into your testimony.
I am originally from Northern Michigan, and actually that's where I am now, visiting family. But I currently live in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale. I've been down there, I guess, 30 years now.
Wow.
Which yeah, it's hard for me to believe it's been that long. Um, and and yeah, that's
And so,
basically go ahead.
what brought you from Michigan to Florida?
I went down in my early years. I was in a relationship with a guy, of course. That's always the age-old story, isn't it? Right. And then
Yes.
when you're young like that and you go far away from your family and your roots and kind of plod your way through, and then oftentimes it doesn't work out, which in my case it did not. And I actually never thought I would stay in Florida, but then the sunny days and the 365 days of warmth a year, here I am 30 years later. So
I can identify with that. I
yeah.
moved from Wyoming to Washington, and I always tell myself I'll move home one day, and then I go back there and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful here, but God, it's like winter 9 months of the year.
Yeah.
So that would be
Yep.
really tough to get used to again.
Exactly, especially being in
Yeah.
Florida. So
Yeah.
what do you do for a living?
Well, I have an interesting story. I used to be in finance in the corporate world for many, many, many years. And I've always been interested in holistic health and how the body can naturally heal itself. So I got into holistic nutrition and then hypnosis, and I combined the two into health coaching and working with women in midlife transitions.
Wow, that's amazing. I
Oh,
am as everybody knows, I'm super into all things natural, so I love aligning
amen.
myself with people who are doing the same. So tell me a little bit about your testimony and what kind of darkness did you have to overcome to get to where you're at today?
Gosh, it's been very interesting because I've been on this journey for the last 2 years very intensely.
Hmm.
Coming out of corporate 2 years ago, I didn't even realize how broken I was. And quite honestly, I keep saying I had to come home to really come home to myself. Like this trip home, I've been here for a few weeks now, has been extremely eye-opening for me. I realize now, looking back, that I've really lived my entire life in survival mode,
Mm,
survival patterns, reacting to life, trying to avoid fallout has really been my mode of operation my whole life. And it really came back, it really coming back here has really enabled me to come back to my roots, back to that little girl, that inner child, back to the foundation, fill the cracks in the foundation, and just get really grounded and rooted in who I am. And I've had all of these epiphanies and all of these awakenings around these patterns.
yeah.
Um, you live so much of your life in validation mode, constantly trying to prove your worth. And I was having this conversation with someone the other day. It starts when we're so young, when we're in grade school and we're constantly trying to earn those gold stars. We're constantly being conditioned to prove our worth instead of just being worthy the way we are. Um, and it's yeah. So I know I'm kind of going on about that, but it's just
Well, it
self
brings, looks like it's
every
bringing some
self-worth is
stuff up though.
everything. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the awareness of
Yeah.
what's truly running your life, what programming is truly running your life.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing all the inner work, and I was,
Yeah.
but a lot of it now I realize was really just the surface levels, just the habits and patterns and things I was trying to change without really going deep into what was running, the programming that was running underneath.
Hmm.
um it takes a lot of daily diligence
Yeah.
to recognize that and consciously, intentionally turn it around, and then start choosing to live your life intentionally
Yeah.
instead of in that programming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think that you like as far as validation, where do you think that started as you said it started as a teenager, and how did it affect you in the corporate world? Like, do you think that did you stay in the corporate world so long because it was what you thought everybody wanted you to do?
I stayed in the corporate world so long, and I know this sounds it sounds sad, but I just really never thought there was any other way. I
Yeah.
have bills to pay, a mortgage, and I just thought that that was there really was no other way available to me. Like the entrepreneurship road, the receiving, the being worthy of anything more was for other people, not for me. For me, it was just keep everything afloat, keep everything, keep the ball rolling. And I would get a job and things would go really, really well for a while. I have a very strong work ethic. And what would end up happening is these work environments were so toxic, but I tolerated it until
Mhm.
finally the last straw, I couldn't tolerate it anymore.
What was
And
the
I
last
was
straw
on
for
this,
you?
well, I was on this path, I got certified in nutrition and in hypnosis, and I was doing work with clients, but still, I was still feeling the need to stay in that stable, secure environment of the 9 to 5.
Mm.
And progressively, as I think God will do,
Yes.
every job kept getting worse and more toxic. And the last one was even worse because they had just undergone a acquisition. And so it was two
Oh.
companies merged into one, and both sides hated each other. And I and came in as like the newbie, and neither side really liked me, or I didn't fit in with either side, which is fine. However, once again, I look back and I was trying to prove myself, and the the longer I was in that environment, the more it sucked my soul, the more my confidence kept eroding and eroding and eroding, because there was no way I was ever going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the final straw came when he came in and he laid me off, and he had no idea what I even did, the work
What?
that I did. And I basically said, are you sure you want to do this? Because I was
Oh
involved in
my
some
goodness.
projects that nobody else knew anything about. And he said, yeah. And then 3 weeks later, I get the phone call. Hey, can you meet for lunch? Can you come back? We need help with this. It was a mistake. And at that point, I said no, because I decided that I was choosing a different road for myself 100%, no matter what fallout, no matter what I had to do, no matter what, that I was worth more. I was finally choosing myself. But it has been a long road. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long road to get back to, a really healthy, strong foundation, to come back to me
Yeah.
without having to prove my worth, without having to validate myself. I've
Yeah.
had to reinvent my identity.
Yeah. And it has that impacted your business and is and your is your business fulfilling that need inside of you to that you are living your purpose now and that when you're stuck in the corporate world or you're stuck in the 9 to 5, you always feel this longing and this yearning.
Yes. Oh, I
And
so
it's like
did.
you feel like a bird trapped in a
Yeah.
cage in this
You do.
office.
And then you get angry at yourself too, because you're like, oh my God, I know there's something more out there. And I know I should be out there doing it. But here I am stuck in this office with these four walls and I
Yeah.
can't get out.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody that was stuck in the four walls? Like, what would you tell them? Like, how to get out of that, even if they're afraid?
You know, it's interesting because I have evolved so much and my work has evolved so much and my business has evolved so much in these few years. I believe that your business really is an evolution of you.
Hmm.
And so my work has really, really deepened. And, I would say to somebody to definitely, that's kind of it's a little bit of a little bit of a difficult question because I do believe that you do need some stability underneath you. Like I wouldn't recommend jumping ship immediately because then your nervous system is already on edge because of what you've been living or the way you've been living in survival mode. And you don't want to put it more into survival mode and you want to have a really secure solid foundation and you want to be you want to build your business on a stable a foundation as possible.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that first, but I would definitely recommend doing the inner work and taking a chance on yourself, whatever it is that you need to do to move into the next chapter or the next phase. If it's a business you want to start, take the next step. It's you don't have to have the whole path laid out in front of you. It's just taking that next step
Yeah.
to move you forward. I in all honesty, I thought that, and I had a pretty good financial basis underneath me when I started. But in all honesty, I thought I would just turn on the light and the clients would come.
Yeah,
No,
I
and
think we all
honestly, and
do.
start making some social media posts
Yeah.
and I hired some business coaches.
Yeah.
Um, I wasn't ready.
Mm.
I wasn't ready for the business coaches. I wasn't ready to, I was working with clients and I'm getting great results, but it wasn't like it was a consistent client flow. And looking back, I realized like I really wasn't ready. My
Yeah.
work wasn't to the evolution or the point that I would be able to hold a lot of clients. I didn't have the firm foundation within myself to be able to offer my clients that space that I do now.
That is some awesome advice, and I would give the same advice to
Yeah.
anybody starting because I've experienced that as well, and it's taken a long time to be able to build the community and build the network and build the clientele base because really clients are just part of your community, and
They
it's
are.
all about the conversations we have um and we can do really well with one client on one hand, but then it's like we did so good and nobody shares about that. And it's all about the conversations we have with people and like the people we talk to, and that's what brings people in, not like the social
Yeah.
media posts or the
Yeah.
I found in my own experience that it's not about the social media. The social media just keeps the lights on. It
Yeah.
just kind of keeps the lights on and gets people to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
What have you like, is there anything in your life that you have that has just shattered your perception of the world and like you wanted to stop. You wanted to just stop moving forward with your career or your business. Has there been a time where you wanted to stop and you pushed through?
Yeah. In all honesty, I feel like that's really been my whole life because I feel like so much of my life has been a struggle for survival,
Mm-hmm.
just to pay, keep the lights on and then even putting myself in situations where I was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So much of my life was chaos and drama. And that's how I grew up. So I
Mm-hmm.
brought it into my adulthood. I didn't know anything different.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
there's been a really, really deep spiritual side that has opened up in me through this journey. I've always believed in God, and I've always believed in a higher purpose or a higher being. But I never really knew much about the energetics and the frequency and surrender and trust and faith and how much of a massive part of the picture it is.
Yeah.
um
You're in
and so that's,
reaction mode.
yeah, yeah.
Reactive. Yeah.
So yeah, so yes, I that has deepened so much, and that has really turned the page for me. I
Hmm.
don't look at things the way that I used to anymore. I don't.
Praise
um
God.
yeah, i don't I don't normalize drama and chaos and struggle anymore.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of prayer, there's a lot of awareness, a lot of looking inward, a lot of changing the thought patterns and the patterns,
Yeah.
a lot of getting out in nature and just observing the beauty and being in the actual moment. I mean, we all go through the ups and downs and the mountains and the peaks and the valleys and that kind of thing. And when you're in that valley, you just have to keep getting being in that moment and keep getting to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment, because it doesn't last. um I'm pretty much a black and white thinker too, I've realized. And so when I would go into those peaks and valleys, especially the valleys, it would completely encompass my whole being, my whole life. I would almost get obsessed with it, with the ruminating patterns of thought. And
Yeah.
um
What's helped you with that? What has helped you with the ruminating? Because that's something a lot of my clients and a lot of people I know struggle with ruminating. I have struggled with that as well. I know what's helped me, but what helped you with the ruminating? That is a big one.
yeah, what's helped me is recognizing it when it's happening,
Yeah.
and recognizing that I'm a black and white thinker, and because of that I tend to really ruminate
Yeah.
on certain things. It's an all or nothing.
Yeah.
And there is no really all or nothing.
Yeah. And just trusting,
It
right?
just is. And it can
Trusting the
and it can be
process.
both,
Yeah.
and trusting and surrender. And yeah, it's very much been about recognizing the pattern of thought, questioning it,
Hmm.
um,
Yep.
letting my inner guidance come through, and a lot of prayer and surrendering and trust and faith. That
Yeah.
really is where it's at, right there, that little ball.
Yep. Yep. That
Yeah.
process. I think Byron Katie calls it the work.
The work. Yeah.
The work. You ask yourself, is it true? Am I absolutely certain that it's true? And if it's true, what does that mean? And
Yeah.
who would I be without that thought? I
Yeah.
I teach that a lot to my clients because
Yeah.
that has helped me so much. Because I too was a drama queen and I still get stuck in drama
Yeah.
sometimes, but I have the ability to self-reflect and take a look in the mirror and say, this is what I contributed to the situation.
Yeah.
Can you think of any like a time where you really contributed to a situation, you're like a dark situation that you pulled yourself out of and made you who you are today? And can you appreciate that situation that
Yeah.
has made you who you are
Yeah.
today? Because like for me, I was a drug addict. I was as a teenager, I was a meth addict and I had to take a really hard look at myself as an adult and say, you know what? This was not my parents' fault. This was my fault. I had
Yeah.
to take some really
You
radical
do, you
responsibility.
do have to take responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything like that in your life that you had to take radical responsibility for and take a look in the mirror and say, you know what? I have this thing that I'm not proud of and I'm giving it up to you, God, and I'm forgive me and but it shaped me. It shaped me. I couldn't be who I am without it. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
essence of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was involved in a lot of toxic relationships.
Hmm.
Very much involved with a lot of unavailable men and narcissists. That was my pattern. And what ended up happening is it ended up destroying me. It was like almost like I was
Mhm.
punishing myself.
Mhm.
And I look back now and it's so sad. So
Mhm.
sad. This girl, all she wanted to do was be loved, but instead she let herself be abused and then, felt bad about herself for that. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God, the layers of just that self-loathing, I think.
Mhm.
Um, that I went through. And no, I'm not uh, definitely not proud of any of those moments, but I think it's more of the fact that I didn't have the self-love and the self-worth that I um subjected myself to that
Mhm.
I tolerated that. And it carried over into like the corporate world too,
Mhm.
being constantly in a job where I wasn't appreciated, where I was
Mhm.
constantly trying to earn, earn my worth or prove my worth. And I never had that. God, I just never had that self love. I never thought I deserved anything more.
Mhm.
And yeah,
What
I'm
was your
grateful. I'm
realization?
grateful for it. I'm grateful for it, but still,
When did you realize that that was what your pattern was? Like, what was it? Like, when did you like have a moment of, dang, I am self-sabotaging and I need to make a change. Did you have a moment, a waking moment, I guess?
well, the last relationship that I was in was an unavailable, and I was very head over heels, very, it was all encompassing really. And what ended up happening is I went into self-destruct mode. I went into a lot of really self-destructive patterns. And then the energy around me kind of kept like all of a sudden I was involved in like three car accidents, one right after the other. Like I
Whoa,
was hurt, but like my car was getting hit and
that's
like
a
my
lot of
world just
trauma.
came crashing down around me. And I think that was probably the final straw where I was like, whoa, 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 we can't keep doing this. We can't keep living like this because
Yeah,
it was literally self-destruct. I was
yeah,
literally self-destruct.
yeah.
So it took a lot, a lot, a lot. Because as you know, narcissistic relationships, they're very addictive and your hormones get addicted to it, you get addicted to it. So that was probably one of the most difficult things I've ever maneuvered myself through. That was one of those times when I really just wanted to quit. Like I was,
Mhm.
and I did push through it.
Mhm.
So,
What would you
yeah.
say to your younger self today if she was to come to you as a client? What would you say to your younger self experience these moments?
Hold tight to who you are, stay true to who you are.
Mhm.
Really,
And how
I
do you
would
even
to
find
take
who
her
you
back when
are?
she was that little girl and tell her like
Yeah.
it's not that, so you don't, it's like you don't have to prove yourself.
Mm.
You don't,
Mhm.
you're worthy just the way you are. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. And to just keep digging into who you are, your inner self, those passions and things that you love, never give them up. Since I've been doing this work and I've been back here, God, it's like the whole world has really opened up. I've come back to that,
Yeah.
girl. Yeah. And I'm doing a lot of the things I'm really passionate about. My creative side is coming back. Like it's really been beautiful. So the
So, um, what was I gonna say? So moving forward in your career, how are you going to continue working through your stuff and like building that foundation? If you were to give me like two things that you do on a daily basis to help anchor in and build that foundation, what are those two things?
Well, every morning before I get out of bed, I always pay attention to how I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
because trying to do a lot of nervous system work right now because I'm realizing that right there is the key.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's tension or if I'm holding tension in my body or feeling any feelings, I examine them for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Question. I do some breath work, some breathing, and then um, I do a lot of affirmations too in the morning, and then kind of structure my day around what needs to be done and then what I need from myself.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's
absolutely.
been really, really important. But another big thing that I do now too is I I journal a lot,
Hmm.
but also I'm very, very, very attentive to what's going on in here and what's going on in here. I catch it now. I catch the patterns. I catch the survival patterns. I catch the nervous system reactions and
Yeah,
immediately turn it, change it, go
yeah,
outside, take a walk, do the
yep,
things that I love to do. Now I've really decided now that I'm only living one way,
yep.
and that's my authentic way. No more survival,
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiable,
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So
So you
yeah,
can
it's
really
about just
impact your
having your own
clients.
back and
Yeah.
not making that non-negotiable
Yeah, knowing who you are
and
and
knowing who
having
you are.
and being
Knowing who
solid
you
in
are
that.
is a massive piece of it. And you
Yeah.
so easily forget it, so easily discard it because
Yeah.
somebody gives you their opinion or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your testimony. And thank you for giving a good word to those who are watching,
yes,
because people are struggling out there and they don't know how to anchor back into those foundations. And if anybody who watches me knows, they know that I'm always harping on anchor in. Let's
yeah,
anchor in, because what
yeah,
you can only control your controllables, and your
yeah,
controllables are what you think, what you eat, what you watch, the types of things you read, and how you show up in the world. And it
yeah,
sounds to me like you're really showing up in an authentic way now. And
yeah.
it's never too late. That's the other
No,
thing that I'm
it's
getting from this. It's
not.
never
I'm
too
in my
late.
50s and it took
Yeah.
me that long to get to
Yeah.
where I am now. So
It's
no,
never too
it's
late.
never too late. And you know what? It's even more special, I think, at this age.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, if you found yourself young, that's so awesome. I think life
Yeah,
is
it
a
is. It
journey.
is.
Yeah.
But when you live your life kind of in the dark
Yeah.
and you think it's one way, and then all of a sudden this whole world just opens up,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
cool. It's really cool.
It is. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk with you today, and I really thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to share with us your story. Where can people find you if they want to do some work with you? And let the audience know what your offers are right now.
Okay. I have a signature program that I developed. It's called Rebirth, and it's for women in midlife who are going through a transition, that are really looking to anchor in,
Yeah.
embody their new, their next identity and their next new chapter. And I use holistic nutrition to support the body. I incorporate nervous system work and I incorporate subconscious work with hypnosis. So I
Awesome.
incorporate all of those into my offer or into my package. Um,
Cool.
I know, I love it. It's so transformative. I get such amazing results for people who are really ready to go into their next chapter strong and really transform. And I just, I think of myself as a guide, the bridge from
Yeah.
the one to the next.
Love that. I
Also
have a few
do,
people.
I
I
know.
have a few
I
people I'm like, oh, I should send I'll send you some leads there, because not
Oh, I
leads,
would
but some
love that.
clients. Some I'll send you some people, because I have some people in mind that I think could use your services. So
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. I would love
Yeah.
that. I would love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I also do packages of hypnosis. So
Okay.
packages of 3 sessions based
Cool.
on whatever it is that the client comes to me for. So I have
Awesome.
done a lot with emotional eating and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's
But
very awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
But
identify with that.
as you know, it all goes together.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
And
have a
what's your
website.
website? Yep.
It's www the rittpath.com.
RITT.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
RITTPATH
Okay.
com.
Awesome.
And I'm on Facebook and Instagram and
Okay.
LinkedIn. So
Perfect. Well, I will be sure to share the links in the comment section here. If
Perfect.
anybody wants to find her, be sure to check out her website and support Jenn and her journey. And we really want to thank you for showing up and giving your testimony and giving us a good word for this morning.
Yeah.
And we hope to chat with you again and hope that you have a beautiful and illuminated path on the way as you are working and
I
sharing this
love
work
that.
with other
I
people.
love that.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
helping other people because that's really what
Yeah.
it's about. It's about helping other people find the light in the darkness and
Truly, truly
find
is.
their way.
I can't even imagine living any other way now.
Yeah.
If it's, I mean, I just do it, do the
Yep.
work. It's
Yep.
so worth it.
It
It's
just
so worth
becomes
it.
part of you, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope to talk with you again sometime. Everybody go check out Jenn's website, the Ritt Path, RITT path.com. And I hope that we will see you again. Make sure to subscribe and hit the follow button wherever you found me on the big wild web. Remember to rise and shine, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank
Ciao.